Today, I would like to look into the theory that Amelia Earhart crash-landed, was captured by Japanese soldiers, and was taken prisoner on the island of Saipan. Just back in 2017, a photograph was discovered that had been in archive from the Office of Naval Intelligence for around 80 years. The photo allegedly shows navigator Fred Noonan and Amelia Earhart just days after their plane went missing. The photo shows what appears to be a dock, with multiple people standing around and a barge towing a plane. The person sat on the dock with their back to the camera is thought to be Amelia Earhart, and the man standing to the far left of her is thought to be Fred Noonan. Back in the 1960s, CBS radio reporter Fred Gerner interviewed several witnesses who reported seeing two flyers or spies who'd been picked up by the Japanese before World War II. They claimed that one was a tall woman dressed like a man. Now, Saipan is under the Commonwealth of the United States, but back in 1937 was under the control of Japan. Amelia and Fred were allegedly taken to a prison camp here, where they would later be killed. A man named William Sablan claims that his uncle worked in a prison camp in Saipan in the 1930s. William explains how he was born in Guam and raised in San Diego, and that his father is from Saipan and his mother is from Guam. He went back to Saipan and graduated school there, and met his family while in Saipan too, including his close cousin who would teach William how to fish and hunt. One day, his cousin introduced William to an uncle, Tun Akin Tuhu, who would teach William how to hunt for coconut crabs, and they would go fishing. His uncle mentioned an incident that happened in Saipan in the 1930s. William expressed that he mentioned something about an American woman and an American man who were brought into questioning by the Japanese. They were found and located somewhere in a farther southern island, and they would bring them to Saipan because Imperial Japan was notified about them. Apparently they were both killed and buried in Saipan. Apparently after the war was over, their bodies were exhumed by an American military branch and were shipped back to the United States. Wherever the bodies are now is someone's question to answer. No one seems to know, and right now, America is still looking for Amelia Earhart. The photograph that reportedly shows Fred Noonan and Amelia Earhart with their plane in Saipan has been disputed, with claims that the image was taken 2 years prior to their disappearance, and is published in a Japanese language travelogue about the South Seas. For the most part, all we have is witness accounts and theories that speculate on what happened to Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan on their final flight. However, this case will likely remain unsolved until new definitive evidence is found. I think it's important to remember the accomplishments of Amelia Earhart and recognise how influential she really was. Amelia Earhart achieved public acceptance in the field of aviation for females and paved the way for women in commercial flight. She was the first ever woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. She earned the American Distinguished Flying Cross and the Cross of the French Legion of Honour. She won the gold medal of the National Geographic Society and would win the Harmon Trophy as America's Outstanding Airwoman in 1933 and 1934. These are just some of her many accomplishments. Amelia challenged stereotypes and social standards and will go down as one of the most influential and revolutionary people in the history of aviation. Fred Noonan was one of the best navigators in the world at the time. He had a 22-year career as a seaman with Pan Am and truly was an expert in his field. The strides that these two made in their field were huge and should never be forgotten. As always with these videos, I'm no expert in this field, and I try my best to present you with the information that I find. I also don't have my own opinion on what happened to Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan.